Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Planning and Environment Committee today, Monday, the 27th of July, 2026. Welcome to anyone joining us on YouTube. My name is Councillor Sita. Public questions? None? Apologies for absence?
Councillor Barley, Councillor Willis, Councillor Clayton, Councillor Michael Leeds, Councillor O'Hara, and Councillor Chisholm.
Thank you. Requests for dispensation? None so far. Declarations of interest? None so far. Minutes, pages 5 to 14, to receive and agree the minutes from the Planning and Environment Committee held on the 13th of July, pages 5 to 14. Any comments or debate on any of those? Can we vote to agree them? Oh, was there a comment, Councillor Shea? Or Councillor Canning? I heard a noise. No?
No, I was just clearing my throat.
Okay, if there's no debate, can we vote to agree them then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Moving on. Sevenoaks 50. Oh, sorry. Sorry, apologies. Item 5, Sevenoaks District Council new tree preservation order. To receive notice that Sevenoaks District Council has made documents for a new TPO. It's number 5 of 2026. At the property of Woodseeds, 5 Knoll Paddock, the effect of the order covers 10 trees and a row of approximately 50 beech trees. To note that the order has taken provisional effect from the 30th of July 2026. However, objections or representation may be forwarded by the deadline of 4th of August 2026. Yes. Yes, Councillor Skinner.
So just to note that this is relevant to an application for some length.
Yes, we have.
But I think I'm right in saying that none of the TPOs actually affect the substance of the planning application. So it's come to the so that's worth.
Okay, it is, and it's nice when we get TPOs because it means they're taking things seriously. Councillor Shea, did you want to say something?
Question. The letter at the top says this communication may affect your property. Is that just standard letter format, or because we don't have property there any longer, do we? Good. Okay, that's all right. As long as that's just standard.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. Item 6, Kent County Council temporary closure of public footpath. SU12, that's page 23 for the details. To receive notice that KCC has made an order to temporarily close public footpath SU12 for its whole length between its junction from Robbins Way and London Road from the 22nd of July. This will be for a maximum of 6 months. However, reopening is expected for the 1st of August 2026. 2026? Yes, so maximum of 6 months, but it doesn't. Yes, they expect to do it quickly, but
This is very exciting.
Very
exciting. Very exciting.
We're very happy about this, aren't we?
This is the final part of the cycle path, footpath widening that needed to happen. So this is the stretch from the zebra crossing on London Road near the courts to go through into Bradbourne Lakes, and it's been taken 18 months for them to designate it as a bridleway due to various ownership issues, after which the district council has been finally putting in place measures to widen it, make it actually cyclable. So very excited to Bradbourne Residents Association and to Peter.
well,
Yeah,
how quickly they do it then, won't it?
Very interesting. They had a grand opening about a year ago. I think they were a little previous. So
Right, okay, moving on. Well, we'll watch that one then.
We'll cycle along.
This. Wait, another grand opening, perhaps we need to organise. I don't know. Right, moving on, item 7, street naming and numbering, notification of new addresses, that's pages 25 to 27. To receive notice and plans for the naming of 5 new dwellings in the rear garden plot of St Valerie, 75 Bradbourne Park Road. The new addresses have been amended from units 1 to 5 St Valerie, 75 Bradbourne Park Road to 77A to 77E Bradbourne Park Road. So we note those new addresses. Item 8, Sevenoaks District Council Local Plan Regulation 19 consultation has been launched. To receive notice that Sevenoaks District Council will formally launch its Regulation 19 public consultation on its draft local plan on the 23rd of July. That was last week. The comment deadline is 11:59 on Thursday, 17th of September 2026. To note, details of the consultation, including opportunity to provide comment, are available via the following link. And to receive a reminder that a draft response to the consultation will be prepared for later approval of the Planning and Environment Committee via a working party comprising councillors Canny, Shea, Skinner, Camp and Granville. So we need to arrange that.
Have we arranged it?
We haven't yet, I was just asking, so we need to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll arrange that. Decision notices on planning applications at pages 29 to receive a note decision made by FCC on applications commented on by us between the 2 weeks ending 20th of July this year. And I don't think there was too many differences with that one.
Well, I got one where it was refused rather than approval.
Yeah, I can see that there.
Now,
Opening road.
we talked about the roof shape on that one here, hadn't we, and had concluded it was okay, but the officer concluded it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's still a good result. Planning applications, right, we will move on to planning applications. The first one is Sevenoaks School, councillor Granville.
Thank you, Chair. This is back to the Sevenoaks School. It's the project to convert People's House into a new 18-3-bedroom building for girls, the girls singing school. The applicants amended the scheme to alter the appearance of design of the external link, which is now glazed. And the conservation officer is still not happy with that. They would rather there hadn't been a link at all. That they're saying there shouldn't be a link. There's going to be an issue with that spill and a change to a listed building which she finds unacceptable. So I'm going to go with the
Where the girls can get them to the hole.
yes, it's at my school we have to do that. Or
Look, have it turned out.
it's fine. But I think we have to go with conservation officer on that. There's no they know exactly what they're doing. But I was slightly waylaid by looking through the portal. And there are a lot of comments about the construction plan, which there are listed buildings, listed buildings on the other side of the proposed entrance to the development, and they are very concerned about the state of the walls, the pavements, their houses, vibration, holding up traffic in the high street. There is a construction plan, and again, I think we have to leave that with the officers at the district council. But I did just want to comment that. Yeah. Right. I turned over 2 pages. Thanks. Never get this thing the right way up. You can see on the little map that there's quite a narrow. Anyway, on our we've got it up here. It's quite a narrow access to this whole development, and this is what the people either side, the one on the left and the one further to the left of that, both very concerned about getting trucks through there and their access to their parking, which is at the back.
Is this on the high street?
That's on the high street, yes.
So where's the high street on the map? That's there. All right.
That's
Okay.
going south to the left and
Yeah.
north
Got
to the
you.
right.
Thank you.
So my recommendation is, I've got to change my recommendation because I've looked at it since then. I'm happy to recommend refusal of the amendment, which is the external link, which is now glazed. But I would, I just want to point up to the officers, I don't think it's within the recommendation to take into account potential construction nuisance and mitigate the satisfaction of neighbouring properties. But we didn't say that the last time we looked at this, so maybe it's too late.
No, it's not too late.
Apologies for that.
No, you can add a comment. You can add a comment. Do we have a second? Thank you. Okay, any debate on this one?
How would they mitigate? Well, there's a suggestion by one of the letters on the portal that they could access that site from further up opposite St Nicholas's. Be a way into the school there. I think it's the main, that they should make an entrance there and get access to the site through the opposite St Nicholas. But it's down to the officers to work out the best way of doing
So just so I can, yeah, so it's the green on the left is what's going to be built.
it. It's actually the whole area where Hooper's Yard is. In fact, I think
So-
we've got, can we get up just what the proposal is for the overall, plan for the proposal is?
As the orchard is going to be used as a site
Yes,
store.
and there's some distress about that.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's going to be very tricky. Because it's an old building that's not terribly good condition, and I understand the walls are fairly shaky, so and the whole thing is a difficult project.
There are huge amounts of compromises to it.
But then a lot of listed buildings are in that condition.
I can't even see Hooper House on there.
At the end of number 24's garden.
Oh, right, oh, that little tiny. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, George.
So the building, so number 20, where it says number 24 garden, that's going to be built over.
I think so, yes. Put the wrong specs on.
Oh,
Equals to that.
Never mind.
So I had it, I was going to put it in the application, but I didn't.
So Hooper's
comment.
house is being connected to the buildings on the high street, is it?
Yes,
And-
yes.
Okay,
And
So it's just the link that we're looking at, really.
yeah, I mean, there is a whole lot of development and redevelopment of existing buildings. But there was a link between the new building and the back of the existing buildings on the high street. And lots of elevation, so have we got a plan, just a general arrangement for.
there was one on that list you just had a minute ago that was site plan proposed, I think. In that very tightly, sorry,
That's all right, go ahead.
in that very tightly built area. Is it possible to put in something about negotiation concern for other private owners? Who are not part of the school
Well, I think it's sort of
and
building.
their well-being, because
It's a sort of building relationship, really, isn't it?
yeah,
There's the other buildings, existing buildings too.
but I think Councillor Brown has put something in their recommendation.
yes,
Yeah.
They need to cap potential construction use mitigate that's actually neighbouring properties. It's quite powerful.
And the safety of the listed buildings, I think, yeah. Are we not?
Sorry,
That's all right.
combined all the drawings into one document.
Yeah, that's not very helpful.
3 pages.
Okay, well, we do have a recommendation on the table, I mean, rather than put you on the spot anymore. Oh, right, here,
So that's the extent of the development.
Gosh, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
where
wow.
are they planning to put this, Victoria?
Well, within that red line,
Okay.
and there are plans that go with that. In fact, this is a new plan, and
It goes down as well.
yeah.
so they're building all the way down through what we were seeing as garden of number
Yeah,
24
could
is
you
now
go-
all rooms.
Can you keep going down so we can follow the extent of the red line? That's what happens down there.
That's new air source heat pumps.
Oh, I see. So, right, so the long thin bit is just piping for the air street pipes. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Presumably part of their consideration in terms of access is also the safety of the school children. Site.
Well, one of the comments on the call for is that the construction plan asks for, which suggests that during term time, the construction will be limited because of that, during the holidays. Yeah, whatever else they want, and of course the neighbours are really, they said we don't go around holiday, schools go around holiday, we're there. And we don't want. You know, follow our days of building down on.
I think your recommendation is correct, what you're saying, asking for the mitigation measures. I think, maybe leave it like that. Does anyone else want to add anything else? Okay then, can I ask for a vote then, please, all in favour of that recommendation?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on, so that's the next one is the same, this building is the same. 63 Bradbourne Vale Road, councillor Dr. Money. Thank you.
This is for another business. Sorry, I'm just. It's change of use from a dwelling house to a nursery, including internal alterations, conversion and extension of an existing garage for preschool room with wild grass seed and roof. They do work even when it's drought. So it's I think this would be a very good location for a small nursery. Well, 65 children, as there seems to be no very close neighbours, but it's next to the railway line.
We're next to the bridge.
Yeah.
Next to the bridge, right down there. Okay.
Yes. And it's a nice largish garden. The only problem is, of course, so there shouldn't be too much noise for the neighbours. And the only problem is that there is a lot of traffic in that area because of the old academy, which is a large comprehensive school. And in consultation with councillor Shea, I think we might ask them to put in a travel plan for this site, because otherwise the children will probably arrive before the children from Knoll and leave after the children from Knoll. So but they need to do a travel plan and it's, I think it's, is that right?
Yeah.
And explore some of these issues.
Okay,
I just know as a working parent that you had to get your children into nursery before you went to work.
Yeah.
And pick them up afterwards.
okay, so approval with the addition of a travel
I
plan.
mean, yes, subject to.
Subject
Yes, otherwise, we're welcoming a new facility like this with, I understand the owner is, the proposed owner of this is an experienced educator, experienced teacher, and has had these sort of facilities in other places.
Okay, so approval with what you just said, you're seconding. Any debate on this?
I just add a bit to it. So there are 2 applications on our agenda tonight for conversions to provide day nurseries. And there's quite a contrast between the 2 applications. So the one we're going to come to later has a travel assessment in and talks about the need for 50 spaces to accommodate staff, to accommodate drop off and pick up. And this application doesn't actually address those issues at all. It just has some drawings about the built environment, which looks like it's well thought through. But this is a location, this is on the access road to the underpass that goes, so if you come out from Oakdean Road and go under to the school, it's on that road and it's right up to the corner of there where you've got the pedestrian route, an awful lot of parked cars at some times of the day, a lot of double parking there already that's problematic at some points in the day, as well as the cycle route coming down. But it's not going to get better by this. There's no provision, it would seem, at the moment for staff parking. There might be space for turning space within the site, but it's not shown on the drawings as things stand.
Yes.
So it sounds like a good place to have the nursery, but the detail isn't complete.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. Any further debate or comments?
We are assuming that children will be dropped off by car. Is that a strong assumption or, I mean?
Presumably picked up the travel plan.
That would be big, yeah, it will be,
Yeah.
it was like that.
That thinking isn't for us to do really, but want to demonstrate how. There could be some really simple, straightforward ways if they're, connected to Knoll, for example, there's a car park around the corner, but until they can demonstrate how they're gonna get these cars in and out without clogging up the local streets that were already impassable at the beginning and end of the day. It's quite challenging.
Okay. Right, so we have a recommendation, any further debate, what can we vote? Let's vote, all in favour, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
for that, it's interesting.
We need this new businesses now.
So this is an outline application for demolition of double garage and electricity self-build one bedroom flats close to solar panels. And so on. This application became invalid because the biodiversity net gain information had not been included. That has now been provided, the application has therefore been revalidated, the rest of the application remains unchanged. In March, we recommended refusal on the grounds of overdevelopment by virtue of the proposed height, scale and massing, as well as concerns with the access being on a very fast blind corner of Oak Lane, potentially impact the adjacent public footpath. We had an informative, noting self-build planning applications are exempt from the 10% BNG, but we questioned the applicability of this information for multiple one-bed flats within a single building. We considered that a self-build scheme would be unworkable in practice, and any exemption of statutory biodiversity obligation therefore regrettable. So the additional information on BNG appears to show a decline in biodiversity of 7%, as I say, appears because I struggled with the matrix. That said, there's no new information that's come through to suggest the substantive concerns behind the recommended refusal, so as you sort of saw before. I recommend that our previous recommendation be repeated, and despite the additional information on BNG, I believe our informative is still relevant, and I recommend that it still stand.
Thank you, do we have a second then? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, for us all in favour? Thank you, carried. Whole oak, Councillor Daniel?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
This is an Oak Avenue. It's a proposed front extension and loft conversion, including alterations to the rear roof form with the replacement of 2 existing dormers, the Juliet balconies to the rear, addition of PV panels to the south roof, associated internal layout changes and alteration to fenestration. This is a detached property on a private road, and it's an amended application which provides an arboricultural method statement with a tree protection plan. So we saw this application in March, and STC recommended refusal unless the additional information requested by the tree officer, the method statement and tree protection plan, was provided, and also that the planning officer satisfied there's no loss of amenity to neighbouring gardens from the new glazed gable. It's worth noting there's also an objection from a member of the public under policy EN4, being the harm to assessing of the heritage assets, but the conservation officer has since considered this and determined that the proposal does not result in undue dominance in relation to the locally listed building. So the arboricultural method statement and protection plan gives specific instructions on how to protect any affected trees. So the Gustav's recommendation is approval, provided the tree protection plan is adhered to, and also reiterating what was said before, which is that the planning officer is satisfied there's no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties from the new glazed gable.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote, please? All in favour? Thank you. Councillor Jane?
Thank you. This is an easy one. I hope you'll agree. This is Buntastic on the High Street at the top by the zebra crossing. They are seeking permission to hang a sign, black and white swing sign on the corner of the building with a fairly simple logo. It won't be illuminated. I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do you have a second? Thank you. Any debate? Could I just ask, what's the difference between the last application and this one? Because they've already had
They put in a drawing.
Oh, right.
That's
That's all.
It had a picture of the fixing.
Oh, good. Oh, no.
Thank you, Claire.
Okay. Any further debate? Can we vote? Did you want to?
I was just going to say I like funds.
Okay.
Cinnamon ones.
All right, can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you, carried. Councillor Skinner, back with you.
This, I think, is fairly straightforward. On the 1st of June, we recommended approval subject to the views of the Conservation Officer. The views of the Conservation Officer have now come in. They're listed in front of you. Summarised by saying the changes will deliver a heritage benefit to the locally listed building and Sevenoaks High Street for the station area. The sensitive and contextual design response. The application is therefore supported. The changes also appear to meet the concerns from being raised by the Sevenoaks Society. Therefore, I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Bayham Road, Councillor Lane.
Okay, it's a due for the, where am I?
Sorry,
Yeah, you've got it, don't worry. Sevenoaks Town Council, yeah, Chambers. Installation of new path line installing vent stack on the external wall to serve a proposed new ensuite along with the addition of discrete span grills to serve the new ensuite and existing bathrooms. So, this is a semi-detached grade 2, this is English Heritage Building, and it's an amendment of a previous application. So I recommend approval, providing amendment is in line with the heritage statement and that the heritage planning officer is satisfied. If there is indeed a heritage officer, is there, or would it be the planning officer?
Would it be the conservation?
Conservation, that's the word, yes.
Can I have a second, please? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote, please? All in favour? Thank you. Moving on, War Memorial.
This is our own application, so we'll make our usual recommendation, but I just wanted to note that it's amended because it now has a revised condition report, method statement and heritage and design access statement included in it, and that's why we're seeing it again. Many of us will have seen that already. It's worth noting that Conservation Officer's comments have been uploaded to the portal now and say that it represents a well considered approach to conservation and preservation of the War Memorial. So that's not in the bag, but moving in the right direction. But because it's our own application, our usual recommendation is not to form.
We will not comment.
We could thank the agent for an excellent planning application. I'd be very happy to do that. Because they are great pieces of work, and our agent shouldn't get shouldn't try and even make up a business piece. Thanks, agent.
We will do that. Okay, we will move on then. Quarries, Parkfield, Council Whiteley.
We saw this one a few weeks ago. Quarries is a large house on the north side, Parkfield. There's quite a lot of internal and external renovation. This is, I think, the final piece. It's a new gate, pedestrian access, and a new electric gate. I think the reason it's come back is because they've submitted a drawing of the works. There's also now reports on the Free officer, no issues. Conservation officer, no issues. And the drawing just illustrates sort of what we knew already. Previous recommendation was approval, and current recommendation was approval.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote, please? All in favour? Thank you. Right, moving on. 43 Argyle Road. This is for solar panels. This one, installation of 7 solar panels on the southwest pitched roof and 3 panels on the south facing roof, and installation of electric vehicle charging point, which is a nice photograph of it. No problem. I don't see any real problems with any of these. There are some solar panels nearby on the opposite side of the road. It's adjacent to a conservation office area, but again, we have to be all for renewable energy. So I don't think the solar panels are any way detrimental. But anyway, I recommend approval, providing the planning officer is satisfied they are not detrimental to the sweet sea. That's my recommendation. Any debate? No, you want to
Do
vote?
you need planning application for?
Yeah,
Sometimes you do.
Okay.
is it because it's in a concert next to
Probably next to conservation.
Where do you stop? Next to a conservation area.
Yeah, or within.
Adjacent to a conservation.
this, you know, we really do need to be encouraging people
to do
in a
this.
very big way to do this.
Yeah, well, I think that and in their normal solar panels, I mean, you know, they look pretty okay to me, they're not intrusive, so
Yeah.
anyway, that's my
I'm just
recommendation.
commenting on the need to actually get for it.
Sometimes you do, depends on the area, if also if they're gonna raise the height, some solar panels are slightly different. But anyway, these are pretty straightforward solar panels.
See, it looks like the auction rooms.
That's right,
Yes,
yeah.
that big roof.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, so it's just actually next to it, so, and the vehicle charging point is just on their house, so it's, you know, it's not
Great.
across the pathway, so no issues. Okay, if there's no further debate, can we vote then,
Sorry,
please?
I do have one.
Yeah.
One question comment. We talked about solar panels quite a lot in the past. I thought at some point we said that we might, as it were, develop a clear, coherent kind of view on solar panels. Essentially trying wherever possible to encourage their use. Did we, am I right in remembering that? And did we ever actually develop a
James, we're
policy?
trying to put together what is called a power plan, which will include that and other items to become a appendix to the review of the neighbourhood development. We haven't moved far on it, but
Okay.
for some assistance.
Yeah, okay, but until then,
Thank you, that was great, because I
Yeah.
quite agree that this stuff is so important.
it is
as
important,
Europe
we
goes.
yeah, it really is. Okay, so can we vote on this one then, please, all in favour? Thank you, moving on, councillor Daniel.
Thank you. This is chart band 37 Kippington Road, just quite straightforward. It's a demolition of an existing garage, an interlinked side extension, chimneys, walls and gates, erection of a two-storey side extension with integrated ground floor garage with electric charging point, single-storey rear extension and creation of a front porch, addition of solar panels, roof lights and associated landscaping. This is a large detached house on a private road, and the proposal will replace the single-storey detached double garage with a two-storey extension with an interval double garage. There's also a proposed single-storey kitchen extension and the addition of a front porch. The solar panels will be on the rear of the house and not visible from the street. It is in the Kippington conservation area. The proposed materials will match existing, and the resulting side of the house will not be out of keeping with others in the area. There's quite substantial screening for neighbouring properties, so the extension should not impact their amenities. So my recommendation is approval.
Thank you, do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you, carried. Councillor Granville, 13656.
I just want to say before that, thank you very much to other councillors who've taken on town board applications. Because we had quite a lot this week, so we appreciate it. So I would like to just discuss this. This is the Pure Lot site. We had an application in April where for the window treatment for what is going to be the Tesco, which is the 2 floors of the retail space on the in the site. And the application was actually wanted to propose to frost all the windows so that it would become a sort of rubber blank. But frost all the windows with some text on as well. This is a re-application because it was turned down by SDC as well, and they said it's a positive area, and it didn't sit well with its neighbouring buildings. So they put in a new application for, we've got the front is just to have the Tesco logo in fret cap lettering on the existing movers top, and then one window will have a stick on to say hello and do something and everything, and it'll be frosted. The others are apparently ostensibly not frosted. But when I looked at it, there's another frosted window down the side on Chandler's Walk to tell people which direction to go to. And that all looks fine to me. On the drawings, however, some of the other windows that aren't part of this application are blue, mid blue, and some of them are pale blue. And I just want to make sure that if I recommend approval for what they're applying for, these other windows won't become frosted by default. It's very unclear. There was no way I could find out gone forward with what the intention was with these pale blue windows. So my recommendation is, if this relates only to obscure frosting behind the two new signs, plus the Tesco logo, which isn't actually on the one that sorry, please, I would recommend approval. However, I do just want to make sure that we are just giving approval to those and not opening the door to everything becoming frosted.
Okay, that's brilliant. Do we have a second? Thank you. Any debate? Yes.
I was in Wimbledon where there was a new large testing as part of a very new shopping centre. And it was much more elegantly done than this.
Well, the windows.
So I'm really cross about the one in Sevenoaks, that it isn't being done to a high enough standard. And consideration of some sort of elegance.
I have to say that the conservation officer also said in their report that these
And that was, we got photos of it, and you know, when we were in Wimbledon.
to respond to you, Councillor Hanley, the conservation officer is also saying that this is fine, measuring at facial height, considered appropriate conservation area, no level of harm. However, it would be better designed in more muted colours and bright blue to respond to the character and appearance of the Sevenoaks High Street Conservation Area, or just as black or white vinyl letters applied to the window to make the design more subtle and family. And it will reflect the approach taken to the fascia signage, and there appear to be examples of this done in other Tesco stores, probably the one used. Conservation areas.
Yes.
However, I'm not really fussed about that. I do think that it's a very small amount of print. And I think if you've got a sort of corporate identity, you need.
Yeah, I see bright blue and pale blue.
I think the white, blue, pale blue is a slight red herring, because I'm just saying, does it mean frosted or not frosted? The conservation officer is talking about colouring, the colour of the type that's being used in these application windows.
I just think having built a large block of flats with a certain style about them, which I quite like, that this store on the ground level and a very prominent site, people will be looking at this to see the new building and everything. Could be better.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I just think it should be more
Yeah.
elegant.
unfortunately, we have to
Maybe.
look at what's in front of us.
I have to say that it could be a lot worse.
Yes.
I think what's here is actually
It was
not too bad.
That's before, that's what we had
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's terrible.
Whereas now we've literally just got one, we've got the entrance this way and none of
So
that.
the top one is
It's
proposed,
proposed,
and
the
what was,
bottom one is what was proposed previously and has since been reviewed.
So it's very
better,
different.
isn't it, Marilyn?
It's an improvement on that, yes.
yeah,
Can we just clarify which of those windows are going to be frosted and those that aren't? I
That's
know that's
And was it like blue coloured glass, or translucent?
I do not know what that colour coding stands for, and it's not possible to see it.
Yeah, this really isn't very acceptable, is it, for them to be putting in something which is unclear, or something that's going to have such an important.
It's very important.
Yes.
Yes.
At least we got rid of the first.
Yeah, sure, but it's absolutely.
it's an improvement.
But certainly Wimbledon have done it much better, haven't they?
Councillor Shay,
I think it's really important that we can get to the bottom of this, or the plans do, because one of the things we talked about, apart from the lower version being very bold and bright, is the issue of safety and overlooking.
Yes.
You know, that when that building was being designed without knowing who was going to go into this retail unit, you know, so much of what was going to be good about opening up that passageway was going to be about creating the activity, the overlooking, the active frontage. So we don't know, because of that difficulty in the colouring on the glazing, whether we get this active frontage or not this way.
Can I suggest that we recommend refusal until we are clearer about this?
I'd be happy with that.
Yes,
The
please.
actual application doesn't refer to any glaze. The original one that was refused had 9 vinyls, whereas this application just has the 3.
Yeah.
So it's got the one fascia, one store directory and 1 vinyl. So that implies that there aren't nothing else to
Education's
that.
fine, and if they come back.
But I
and
think
say,
that if we're commenting on the actual application, which doesn't say that it's going to be glazed, I think I would prefer
absolutely right. It just.
an approval
alarmed
subject
me.
to.
Yeah. It's alarmed.
I think refusing it,
Turning this around to refusal.
Shall I say refusal until?
I would prefer.
I think it needs more thought and discussion to go into it.
I think what they're proposing is really pared back, and actually,
Yes.
I think it's fine, and it's.
And the
Maybe say, okay, they may be glazed, but there's nothing in the windows, and you've got to show that it's Tesco somehow.
Absolutely.
And at the front, it's all in the Louvre, so it's not like a big Tesco sign as you would have the normal Tesco Express sign. So I think they've actually done it quite synthetically, which actually, you know, the conservation area officer doesn't have a problem. So I would.
Okay,
you
so
can
what
recommend refusal, but
would you like to do, councillor Granville?
Well, I think perhaps approval, but with the comment that we'd like to know what the intentions of the other.
Will be, yeah, I mean, if we refuse, the parents will come back and say, don't worry, everything's okay, and then we will be reassured.
That's true.
And so, that's what I would like to see. So, I mean, if councillor Daniels is right, then I would have no worry about it at all. But given that the application is unclear, why don't we just get that clarity? And the town councillors, you, me, and councillor Cat, look at it when it comes back and say, okay, we don't want to call it in, it's fine.
Yes.
But at least let's have that option. Because if we approve.
It is quite a prominent site,
I
so,
think it's extremely important. I think councillor Canet is absolutely right.
okay,
This is so important. I would like to have an opportunity to have the the planning officer's comments on this before we approve them.
Should we have an informative saying, you know, kind of what we're looking for?
Absolutely.
We're looking for translucency.
yeah, that can be a bit, so refusal because we're missing,
And
things aren't clear.
store frontage and all
And
these
then
words.
informative with what we would like to see, even though it is a big improvement on what was originally proposed.
Needed to be.
Okay, so we'll switch that round.
Can we do that?
Yep.
Looking for those words again. Georgie, thank you.
Okay, so any further debate? Can we vote on that then, please? All in favour?
This
Thank
is a
you.
refusal.
Yeah, refusal. Starbucks.
That's fine.
Is that me?
Yes, that's
Right, okay, so, I thought this was going to be straightforward, but it turned out not to be very straightforward, I'm afraid. So this is the store that was previously occupied by Starbucks. Is going to become a white company store. Yeah, so well, according to this application. So the application says that it's for an advertising, and it's for one halo illuminated fascia sign and one externally illuminated projecting sign. But when you look into the drawings, it actually also includes a whole new shop front, new windows, new doors, which doesn't feel like an advertising issue to me. The heritage statement that goes with it references the listed status of the neighbouring buildings, but it doesn't at any point allude to the fact that it's in a conservation area. So I feel like there's more to do on this application to get it right. It's a halo illuminated shrine, which is, you know, a more modern set of lighting. It's not internally illuminated, but it's not externally illuminated either. So my suggestion, given the other issues with the application, is to go for refusal due to the illumination of that fascia sign, with an informative to the planning officer that the application is not just for signage, but also the redesign and replacement of the shop front windows and doors to the conservation, doors to the shop in the conservation area.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm seconding.
Any further debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carrie, still with you, councillor J.
Yeah.
Disclose.
Thank you. 9 Uplands Close is in Rivet. Just by a couple of metres, it just runs alongside that footpath that we talked about earlier, from Roberts Way and London Road, but it is in Rivet Hedge, who have commented, it's not our parish, we should comment.
Okay, come on, thank you. Right, we will move on to 6 Pembroke Grove. This is a very.
Can I just declare an interest here, because it's back onto my garden, my
Okay,
neighbour's garden, I saw that comment behind the.
that's all right. Okay, thank you. This is an application for a variation of condition 7, which is the car park allocation. And basically what they want to do is put a garden, a little garden area, for the children to play in. And we will be losing approximately 10 car parking spaces, approximately, but there's still plenty more. And then they will be putting a garden area, which looks really nice. So there's some comments on the portal, saying it's a good idea, which is fantastic. The environmental officer has been consulted and has commented that she was concerned about the noise, the potential noise. And because she said there's 86 children. So what she has recommended is that a noise operational management plan is submitted to provide details of the use of the outside space, how many children will be using it, etc., etc. So she's been quite clear about that. And there's some suggestion of a noise reducing fencing or barrier that may be. No one's really mentioned the noise apart from the environmental officer. So that would be my recommendation, to recommend approval, because they've got plenty of other spaces. I'm just looking at here. Providing there is a noise and operational management plan submitted, details of a noise and operational management plan to be submitted and approved in writing. And potentially a travel plan, because they have reduced the parking. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but potentially an accepted travel plan, because they have lost some space for parking. And that a noise reduction fencing be put all the way around for safety and noise reduction for the adjacent neighbours. Those 3 bits. Yes.
Just for clarification, so there's a 2-story office building. Does this mean they're using child labour or something? Or is it not an office building?
This is what we are looking at, is the variation of condition. So don't get stuck into all the rest of it. This that has been submitted is drawings of the back, showing the car parking spaces they're going to lose and what they want to do.
Okay, just understanding why does an office building need a child, something for 86 children?
It's been converted into a nursery.
It's a nursery.
So it's not an office building then?
It's
No, that was the original permission or the original application. What we are looking at is a variation of the condition, because the condition stipulated a certain number of car parking spaces. And what they want to do is reduce that number of spaces, so that that was a condition, that they had so many car parking spaces, and they want to reduce it.
So have they already had a change of use approval?
There's permitted development, under permitted development, I think, because we didn't see it. And in fact, they're going to, I think they're knocking down the buildings there, they're going to put a new building in.
So this
Which already has permission.
completely.
Completely.
It's office buildings, they're going to knock down.
Class E, yes.
So they have a change of use approval?
That's what I want to know, councillor
Just, of course, I mean,
McGrady.
Apparently, well, I looked on the portal and it looked as if it was a permitted development change in use and rebuild, so we didn't see it. But that certainly hasn't come.
Yeah, because it's a class E, so it was fine. Okay, so
Okay.
what we are looking at, I say,
Yeah,
is the car parking spaces.
trying to understand.
They have to, because the car parking was stipulated, and that is what they're applying. This is a variation of a condition. That's it, that's what we're looking at. What is
Yeah,
it?
Trying to understand
understand.
So you don't have a lot of information in front of us to do that, which is why we're asking the questions. So the old office had a required number of car parking spaces. Change of use, therefore they need fewer car parking spaces, but they need to get permission to do that bit.
Yes, they have to.
Okay. So, and I understand that, so you would need fewer car parking spaces than you would have, than you would need in an office. I get that.
What they
That
want
way,
is the
that-
garden area. It's the garden area they
No.
particularly want.
Selling a car.
No, it doesn't, but that is what
Just
they
like that.
want, that is why the garden area that they want to put in for the children, that's driving it. Because where they want to put the garden, there is nowhere to put it, they have to take some of the car parking
It would be
spaces.
really helpful to have comments to.
Yeah.
When was the original thing stipulating car parking? When was that done? Was it years and years ago?
1985.
Before Blythe existed, for example.
It was for an office building.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you know, just thinking overall about the parking provision in the area. That would be relevant.
Yes, sorry.
I believe there's still quite a lot of parking there, there was a.
Yes,
there
there
are
is.
two- There's a whole row of cars all along the width back to the inside. Of course, there always have been cars and there'll be cars coming and going. It's residential, the bottom of their patch, it's residential, it's a drive, it starts there, next to the Methodist church. When I looked at it, it's going to, I know that it will be, if the garden is used, I really welcome the nursery, I think it's exactly what everybody needs, if you need to go out to work. I wouldn't, in any case, that's not in question. I am concerned that the outdoor space, which is large, appropriately, will be noisy because from 8 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the afternoon, there will be access at every time. It's not set classes like in school. That will be when it's good weather. There'll be lots of children in that back garden, and they'll be we'll hear it very loudly in our gardens. Not just mine, but the one next to us, and I think 2 or 3 down. In fact, all of us had family notices. Richard had pocketed ours, so I hadn't seen it until a couple of days ago. But I would really like, as an informative, and again, I'm not going to vote on this, that for instance, the fence that adjoins my neighbour is falling down, and it would be, I don't know who it belongs to, the neighbour doesn't know who it belongs to, but it would definitely need to be rebuilt, either as a wall or as a really strong soundproof barrier. And then the other side of that, between the car parking and this garden, another soundproof barrier, and that would solve everything. It would sort the problem for all the neighbours in the drive. And it doesn't have to be, I think they'd have to have a barrier anyway between the car park and the, but it would be soundproof.
Okay, we can
We
we can put soundproof, I put noise reducing, but we can call it soundproofing.
Yeah, because if we're just talking about a noise operational plan, that's not necessarily going to be it because of.
Okay, well, we can just say.
Could we say preferably, wall would be, proper wall would be really useful. If we could ask.
Soundproofing.
Well, I've had soundproofing put in my garden between me and the neighbours now, and it was pretty ineffective. It's soundproof fence, it's pretty ineffective. It's actually a wall, you have to have more, bricks and mortar to stop the noise travelling. And children they're wonderful, they have very high voices. It's always been offices back there, it's been really nice and quiet. Obviously, that's the way you deserve to have real quiet forever, but it would be exceptionally different.
Soundproofing
more proper, effective soundproofing between
Okay,
nursery.
soundproofing instead of noise reduction. Okay, there's still 15 spaces, by the way.
Yes, there's plenty of.
You did ask, there's 15, I'll just.
Yes, I've checked it too.
There's
No problem with the reduction in car parking.
They have got space. Councillor Shay?
Yeah, I think the transport assessment that they made, is on this application is very thorough, actually, and they've got the analysis and comparisons against other nurseries in their chain. It's a large chain. And they use the comparative information of how many staff are likely to walk, to cycle, to park, what the kind of turnover time is, comparing dropping off and so on. I think it's thoroughly done. I think there are far worse sounds than the sound of children playing, and all 86 children won't be outside at the same time. How are you framing? Are you putting it as a condition or an informative?
Approval providing, because the environmental officer has stipulated that that's what she wants. So the noise operational management plan, that's what she's asking for.
I wonder if that's something that would be stipulated as a school or a nursery in other locations.
I don't know, but
It's not
actually
something I've come across before.
no, but she's specifically asked.
with all of your separated.
Yeah.
Residential.
I think because there's quite a lot of residential houses.
Noise operation management plan.
Oh, thank you.
One of
New
those.
Right.
That's what she specifically asked for, so I thought we should say providing, because she's you know, that's her training, isn't it? So, you know, providing, that's what she asked for, a noise operational management plan, details provided and submitted to and approved in writing.
Could we specify that it's physical, not just a plan? You know, a noise operational reduction plan or whatever it is, could she just be only allow people like.
She's asked for details of, I mean, there's more details in what she's asked for, but it's how many children are likely to be out there at any particular time, and that's what she's asking for.
I know, but it's not, that doesn't constitute a physical soundproof barrier.
No, but that's another bit, we need to say that as well, proper soundproofing wall to be put.
Sorry, it seems like that might not actually achieve what I'm not a sound engineer. But living where I do, I can hear the kids playing from 3 schools that's kind of half a mile away. But you know, when it's break time, I know about it. And I don't see how you can get away from the sound of children playing, travelling.
I agree, but that's what some people have said, that
It would certainly
want
reduce it, it would certainly reduce it. This is nursery, I mean, it's great, my daughter went to a day nursery, it was open, you know, every week of the year, there were no school holidays. The hours were much longer than the school hours, and, you know, it's great, it's the only way to go to work, so I really support this. But it is very long hours, and it is every week of the year, so the noise mitigation will be really useful.
I think we'll put it down anyway. I mean, we're just giving our opinion after all. This is our opinion, and the opinion of people on the portal. So they like it, but they just worry about the noise.
I was just going to say that I support Councillor Grant and that, because I've actually worked in school and kids and yes, playground for your children, for the neighbours it's huge. It's very significant, and I think it is important that there is some mitigation.
Okay, I think so. Well, people have commented, so that's what we'll do. We'll put forward their comments. And the parking isn't a problem, I don't think. Any other comments to add? No. You vote then, please. In favour. Thank you. That's it, we've got to the end, so it's back to press release. Do we have a press release? Do we have any? No press releases? No? Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. I close the meeting at 9:58.